My dear friends, life is not about becoming someone the world approves of. It is about becoming the person you were created to be. Too often, women are told who they should be by family, society, media, and expectations. They are told to fit into roles, to adjust, to shrink themselves so others can shine. But the truth is, every woman carries within her a unique light, a purpose, and a design that no one else can duplicate. Becoming the woman you're meant to be is not about comparison, it is about realization. A flower never competes with the flower next to it. It simply blooms in its own time. You too must bloom in your own way. The journey is not easy. You will face doubts, setbacks, and voices that tell you, you are not enough. But let me tell you, your worth does not decrease because someone fails to see your value. Diamonds shine whether they are placed in velvet or in the mud. Their value remains untouched. So, what does it take to truly become the woman you are meant to be? It takes courage to say no to what breaks you, patience to trust the timing of life, wisdom to embrace your uniqueness, and faith to walk even when you cannot see the whole path ahead. My sisters, you are not here to live in shadows. You are not here to play small. You are here to rise, to inspire, to nurture, to lead, to love, and to shine with authenticity. The world doesn't need another copy. It needs the original you. Becoming the woman you're meant to be is not about perfection, it's about progression. Every day, choose growth over fear, kindness over bitterness, and faith over doubt. Then you will see that the woman you were always meant to be was never far away. She was within you all along, waiting for you to set her free. Every person in this world is born with a distinct identity, a blend of qualities, talents, and even flaws that make them beautifully human. Yet, the tragedy is that many spend their lives trying to imitate someone else, thinking that only if they were like that person, they would finally be valuable, finally be loved, and finally be enough. But the truth is, no one can live your story, and no one can carry your journey. You are here for a reason, and that reason is wrapped in your uniqueness. Think about nature for a moment. If every bird tried to sing like the nightingale, we would never hear the joyful chirping of sparrows, the majestic call of eagles, or the soft cooing of doves. If every star in the sky tried to shine like the moon, the universe would lose its infinite sparkle. Uniqueness is not a weakness. It is the signature of creation. And when you embrace it, you step into your true power. Many women grow up with comparisons. One is told, "Look at your cousin. She is smarter." Another hears, "Your friend is prettier. Why can't you be like her?" Some are judged for being too loud, others for being too quiet. From childhood to adulthood, society creates molds and expects women to fit in neatly. But the woman you're meant to be does not exist in those molds. She exists in the courage to break them. Consider for a moment the stories of great women we admire. Leaders, thinkers, mothers, creators, dreamers. What made them stand out was not that they followed the crowd, but that they honored their difference. Some stood firm in their faith, some dared to speak when silence was safer. Some nurtured when others abandoned. Each became remarkable not by copying, but by embracing their uniqueness. And uniqueness is not always loud or grand. Sometimes it is quiet strength, a gentle spirit, a forgiving heart, or the ability to love deeply in a world that has grown cold. Sometimes it is creativity expressed through words, art, or service. Sometimes it is resilience, the ability to rise after falling again and again. These things may not always earn applause immediately, but they are the qualities that build a life of meaning. The problem is, when you do not see your uniqueness as a gift, you begin to fight it. You try to suppress it, alter it, or trade it for something you think will make you more acceptable. But anything forced is exhausting, and living a life that does not belong to you is the heaviest burden you can carry. True freedom comes when you accept that you are not meant to be like anyone else. Your personality, your experiences, your journey, even your struggles are part of your uniqueness, and they equip you for the life you are meant to live. So instead of asking, "Why am I not like her?" begin to ask, "What can I do with who I am?" Instead of saying, "I wish I had her beauty, her talent, her life," learn to say, "I will use the gifts I have been given to create my own path." Because the day you stop wishing to be someone else and start embracing yourself is the day you unlock the power of your uniqueness. And that is the first step to becoming the woman you are truly meant to be. One of the greatest thieves of joy and peace in life is comparison. It starts quietly, almost without notice. You scroll through someone's photos, and suddenly your own life feels small. You see a friend getting promoted, and suddenly your achievements feel insignificant. You notice someone praised for their beauty, and suddenly you start doubting your own reflection. Comparison is like a slow poison. It eats away at gratitude, weakens confidence, and blinds you to your own blessings. But the truth is, no two lives are the same. Every woman has her own journey, her own challenges, her own timing, and her own story. To compare your chapter 2 with someone else's chapter 20 is unfair to your journey. Just because someone is ahead of you in one area does not mean they are ahead of you in life. Everyone is running a different race, and each race has a different finish line. Imagine a sunflower looking at a rose and saying, "I wish I were delicate like you." And then imagine the rose looking back at the sunflower, saying, "I wish I were tall and bright like you." Both flowers are beautiful, yet both feel inadequate because they are comparing themselves to one another. This is exactly what happens to us. We forget that beauty comes in different forms. Success comes in different timelines, and purpose comes in different shapes. When you compare, you are not only dishonoring yourself, you are dishonoring the uniqueness of your own design. You were not created to be a shadow of another person. You were created to be a light in your own way. Comparison blinds you to that light. It makes you believe you are not enough, when in reality, you have everything you need for your journey. Another problem with comparison is that it often shows only half the truth. We see someone's smiles but not their tears. We see their highlight reel but not their struggles behind the scenes. We see the medals but not the sacrifices, the victories but not the sleepless nights. And yet, we still compare. It is like looking at a finished painting and comparing it with your sketch in progress. Of course, it will feel incomplete, but that does not mean it lacks value. It simply means it is not finished yet. The moment you stop comparing, you begin to appreciate your own life. You notice the blessings you once overlooked, the talents you have, the progress you've made, the people who love you, the challenges that made you stronger. Gratitude takes the place of envy, and peace takes the place of insecurity. You begin to see that your life is not meant to look like hers, his or theirs. It is meant to look like yours. Instead of competing with others, the only real competition should be with yourself. Ask yourself, am I better than who I was yesterday? Am I growing in wisdom, in kindness, in courage? If the answer is yes, then you are already winning. Because true success is not about outshining others. It is about becoming the best version of yourself. When you stop comparing, you begin to live freely. You walk lighter because you no longer carry the burden of measuring up to others. You stand taller because you no longer shrink in someone else's presence. You smile brighter because your joy comes from within, not from someone else's shadow. And in that freedom, you finally realize that you were never behind, you were never less, you were always exactly where you needed to be. So many women go through life not realizing how valuable they are. They measure their worth by how others treat them, by how much appreciation they receive, or by how much society applauds their efforts. But worth is not determined by recognition. It is an inherent truth. A diamond does not become less valuable if it is ignored, and gold does not lose its shine if it lies buried in the earth. In the same way, your worth does not decrease when others fail to see it. From a young age, many are conditioned to think that their value depends on achievement, beauty, or approval. A girl is praised when she brings good grades, when she looks a certain way, when she behaves according to expectations. Slowly, she begins to believe that her value lies only in what she produces or how she appears. But this belief is dangerous because the moment achievements fade or beauty changes, she feels unworthy. The truth is, worth is not a product of what you do. It is rooted in who you are. Think about the times you doubted yourself. Maybe someone criticized you harshly, or maybe you failed at something important and you told yourself you were not good enough. But in those very moments, did your inner qualities disappear? Did your kindness, your resilience, your potential vanish? No. They remained within you, waiting to be acknowledged. Worth is not erased by mistakes, it is revealed through how you rise after them. Too often, People give others the power to decide their value. If someone praises them, they feel high. If someone ignores them, they feel low. But placing your worth in the hands of others is like building your home on shifting sand. It will never be stable because people's opinions are always changing. One day they will celebrate you, another day they might criticize you. If your worth depends on their words, you will always live on shaky ground. Instead, true worth comes from recognizing the uniqueness of your spirit. It comes from knowing that you have qualities no one else has, experiences no one else carries, and gifts no one else can offer. Even your struggles give you worth because they equip you with wisdom that someone else may desperately need. When you understand this, you no longer chase validation, you live with quiet confidence. Imagine holding $100 bill. If it is brand new, it has value. If it is wrinkled, dirty, or even stepped on, it still has the same value. In the same way, no matter how life crumples you, no matter how much dirt of failure or rejection covers you, your worth remains unchanged. The outside circumstances may alter your appearance, but the essence of your value is untouchable. When you understand your worth, you begin to treat yourself differently. You set boundaries because you know you deserve respect. You stop settling for less because you know you are meant for more. You carry yourself with dignity, not arrogance, because you are aware of your inherent value. This awareness changes the way you walk into rooms, the way you handle relationships, and the way you face challenges. The world may try to define you, limit you, or underestimate you. But when you truly understand your worth, those voices no longer control your spirit. You can face rejection without losing your confidence. And you can face failure without losing your hope. Because you know that your value does not come from them. It comes from within. And when a woman finally understands her worth, she becomes unstoppable. There comes a time in every woman's life when she must ask herself a powerful question. Am I living to please others, or am I living true to myself? Many spend years wearing masks, saying the right things, behaving in the expected way, and hiding the parts of themselves that don't fit neatly into society's definition of acceptable. But the cost of wearing a mask is heavy. It suffocates your spirit and keeps you from becoming the woman you're meant to be. Authenticity is the courage to put that mask down and live as you truly are. From childhood, people are taught to conform. Don't laugh too loudly. It's not ladylike. Don't speak your mind. You might offend someone. Dress this way, act that way, and you will be accepted. Slowly, a woman begins to shrink. She hides her real opinions, softens her real personality, and molds herself into the version that others prefer. On the outside, she may look like she belongs, but on the inside, she feels disconnected from her true self. That disconnect is one of the deepest forms of unhappiness. Living authentically does not mean being reckless or insensitive. It does not mean rejecting kindness or respect. It simply means aligning your words actions, and choices with who you really are, not who the world tells you to be. When you live authentically, you no longer need to remember which mask you wore in which situation. You live lighter because you are consistent. You are the same in public and in private. That integrity brings peace of mind and strength of character. Many fear authenticity because they worry, what if people don't like the real me? But here is the truth, the right people will. When you live authentically, you attract those who resonate with your true self. You no longer waste energy maintaining fake connections. Instead, you build genuine relationships rooted in truth. And yes, some may walk away when you stop pretending. But ask yourself, is losing people who only love the mask really a loss? Or is it freedom? Authenticity also requires self-acceptance. It means embracing your strengths and weaknesses, your quirks and imperfections. It means standing firm even when you are misunderstood. For example, think of the women who broke traditions to pursue education, careers, or passions at times when it was not encouraged. They faced criticism, but they chose authenticity over approval. Their courage not only liberated themselves, but also inspired others to live more truthfully. When you choose authenticity, your life becomes more purposeful. Instead of chasing society's definition of success, you create your own. Instead of copying someone else's path, you walk your own. Instead of dimming your light to fit into someone else's comfort, you shine fully. That kind of authenticity is powerful. It inspires others because truth always carries an undeniable strength. It is far better to be disliked for being who you truly are than to be loved for being someone you are not. Pretending may win you applause for a while, but it will drain you eventually. Authenticity may bring challenges at first, but in the long run, it will nourish your soul. The woman who chooses authenticity lives with freedom, with peace, and with a deep sense of dignity. And that choice transforms not just her life, but the lives of those who witness her courage. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to move forward despite fear. Every woman who desires to become who she is truly meant to be will, at some point, stand at a crossroads where one path is safe, familiar, and comfortable, while the other is uncertain, challenging, and demanding. It takes courage to choose the second path, the one that stretches you, tests you, and ultimately transforms you. Without courage, dreams remain ideas, and potential remains locked away. Fear whispers many lies. It says, you are not good enough. It says, if you fail, everyone will laugh at you. It says, stay where you are, at least here you won't get hurt. These lies are powerful, but they lose their grip the moment you act courageously. Courage does not silence fear completely, but it teaches you that fear does not have the final say. Fear may visit you, but it does not get to drive your life. Walking with courage means saying no to the things that break your spirit, even when it's difficult. It means stepping away from relationships that drain you, from opportunities that compromise your values, and from environments that do not allow you to grow. Sometimes, courage is not about fighting the world. It is about protecting your peace and choosing what honors your soul. Saying no can be harder than saying yes, but it is often the most courageous decision you will ever make. History and everyday life are full of examples of women who chose courage over comfort. Some stood up against injustice when silence was safer. Others pursued education or careers when society expected them to remain quiet. Some dared to leave toxic situations when the world told them to endure. Their courage did not just change their own lives, it became a beacon for others to follow. Courage is contagious. It gives permission to those watching to be brave in their own way. But courage is not always dramatic. Sometimes it is quiet and unseen. It is the single mother waking up every day to provide for her children. It is the young woman deciding to speak her mind in a meeting where her voice is often overlooked. It is the one who chooses to heal from pain instead of passing it on. Courage lives in both the big moments and the small choices, and each act of courage builds strength for the next. When you walk with courage, you begin to expand your life. Fear keeps life small, but courage opens new doors. Every time you choose courage, you grow into a stronger, wiser, more resilient version of yourself. And as you grow, you begin to realize that courage is not a one-time act, but a way of life. It becomes the lens through which you see challenges, not as threats, but as opportunities to prove your strength. The truth is, life will always present difficulties. You cannot avoid them, but you can decide how to face them. Courage does not guarantee that you will not stumble, but it guarantees that you will rise after you fall. It allows you to face rejection without losing confidence, to face uncertainty without losing hope, and to face criticism without losing your sense of worth. And when a woman learns to walk with courage, she walks with power, power not just to change her own life, but to inspire countless others along the way. One of the greatest challenges in life is learning to wait. In a world that constantly tells us to hurry, to achieve quickly, and to keep up with others, patience feels like weakness. Yet, patience is not weakness, it is wisdom. Trusting life's timing means believing that everything unfolds when it is meant to, not always when we want it to. For a woman becoming who she is meant to be, this lesson is essential because impatience often leads to frustration, comparison, and despair. Think about nature. A seed planted in the soil does not sprout overnight. It must remain hidden in the darkness, watered by faith and strengthened by unseen processes before it breaks through the ground. If you dig it up too soon, because you are tired of waiting, you destroy its chance to grow. In the same way, the dreams and desires within you need time to mature. Just because you don't see progress immediately does not mean nothing is happening. Life works in silence before it shows results. Too often, women are pressured by timelines. Marriage by a certain age, career success by a certain age, motherhood by a certain age, and when life doesn't follow these timelines, doubt creeps in. Am I behind? Did I miss my chance? Am I too late? But life is not a race, it is a journey. Everyone's path unfolds differently. What is early for one person may be late for another, and what looks delayed in your eyes may actually be perfect in life's design. Trusting life's timing requires surrender. It means letting go of control and accepting that some things are beyond your reach. This does not mean you sit idle and do nothing. You still prepare, you still grow, you still work hard. But you also trust that when the time is right, the doors meant for you will open, and no one will be able to shut them. There is a saying that what is meant for you will not pass you by, and it is true. Opportunities aligned with your purpose will come when you are ready to receive them, not before. Sometimes delays are not denials, they are protections. The relationship that didn't work out, the job you didn't get, the plan that fell apart, all of these may have saved you from something that was not aligned with your journey. You may not see it in the moment, but later you realize that life was redirecting you towards something better. When you look back, you begin to understand that timing is not just about waiting, it's about being positioned for what truly belongs to you. Trusting timing also builds character. Waiting teaches resilience, humility, and faith. It makes you stronger and prepares you for responsibilities you may not yet be ready to carry. Just like a child cannot handle the weight of adult responsibilities, sometimes we are not yet ready for the things we desire. Life delays them until we have grown into the person who can handle them with wisdom and grace. The truth is, impatience robs you of peace. When you rush life, you miss the beauty of the present. You overlook small blessings because you are too focused on the future. Trusting timing allows you to live fully in the moment, knowing that the future will arrive when it should. It frees you from envy because you no longer measure yourself by someone else's timeline, and it fills you with peace because you understand that your story is unfolding exactly as it was meant to. Life was never designed to be smooth and effortless. Every person, no matter how privileged or strong, faces trials that test the depth of their spirit. For a woman striving to become who she is truly meant to be, challenges are not just obstacles. They are stepping stones. It is in the fire of difficulties that strength is forged, and it is through struggle that wisdom is born. When life throws hardships our way, the natural instinct is to resist, to ask, "Why me?" Yet, every challenge carries within it a hidden gift. It may teach resilience, patience, humility, or courage. In the woman who grows through her challenges does not escape them, she embraces them as teachers. She learns to see pain not as punishment, but as preparation for the greater purpose ahead. Consider the process of refining gold. Raw gold is full of impurities, and only by passing through intense fire does it become pure and valuable. In the same way, difficulties refine us. They burn away illusions, strip away arrogance, and polish us into stronger versions of ourselves. Without struggle, many would never discover their true capacities. Challenges show us not just who we are, but who we can become. Some of the most powerful women in history and in everyday life are those who face trials and refuse to be broken by them. A mother raising children with limited resources learns creativity and resilience that no textbook could teach. A young woman battling illness discovers the value of life and inspires others with her strength. A leader facing rejection grows in humility and learns to serve with authenticity. Each challenge, though painful, becomes a stepping stone toward greatness. Growing through challenges also means shifting perspective. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you begin to ask, "What is this teaching me?" This mindset transforms suffering into growth. It allows you to endure storms with hope instead of despair. It helps you see that setbacks are not permanent endings, but detours guiding you toward new possibilities. Many times, what feels like a breakdown is actually the beginning of a breakthrough. Another truth about challenges is that they build empathy. When you suffer, you learn to understand the suffering of others. A woman who has walked through heartbreak learns how to comfort another in pain. One who has struggled financially learns compassion for those in need. One who has felt rejection learns how to welcome others with open arms. In this way, challenges not only strengthen you, but also expand your ability to serve and uplift others. Growth through challenges requires endurance. It means waking up each day and choosing to keep going, even when the weight feels unbearable. It means trusting that storms do not last forever, and that on the other side of rain, flowers will bloom. Every scar becomes a reminder not of defeat but of survival. Every tear becomes a seed for deeper strength. The truth is, without challenges, life would be shallow. It is through them that character is shaped, priorities are clarified, and resilience is built. The woman who learns to grow through challenges discovers that even her darkest nights can give birth to her brightest mornings. And in time, she realizes that challenges were never meant to destroy her. They were meant to shape her into the woman she was always destined to become. Strength alone can build walls, but when combined with grace, it builds bridges. Many believe that to be strong, a woman must be unyielding, tough, and fierce in every situation. Others believe that to be graceful, she must be soft, silent, and submissive. But true power lies not in choosing one over the other. It lies in the balance between the two. Strength without grace can become harsh, and grace without strength can become weakness. Together, they create a force that is both unshakable and compassionate. A woman of strength stands firm in her convictions, yet she does not crush others with her will. She speaks with confidence, but she does not forget kindness in her tone. She has the courage to face challenges, yet the humility to admit when she needs help. Her strength protects her boundaries, while her grace allows her to build meaningful connections. It is this balance that makes her not only respected but also deeply admired. Think of water. It is one of the softest elements in nature, yet it is powerful enough to carve valleys and shape mountains over time. Its strength lies in its persistence, but its grace lies in its ability to adapt and flow. In the same way, a woman who learns to balance strength with grace becomes unstoppable. She does not need to shout to prove her worth, nor does she need to hide her power to be accepted. She simply lives in harmony with both qualities, and that harmony becomes her true beauty. Balancing strength with grace also means knowing when to fight and when to let go. Not every battle deserves your energy, and not every silence means defeat. Sometimes strength is standing your ground firmly, and sometimes grace is walking away peacefully. Sometimes strength is in saying no with authority, and sometimes grace is in forgiving without conditions. This wisdom comes not from rules, but from self-awareness and maturity. In relationships, this balance becomes even more important. A woman who is only strong may come across as distant or intimidating, while one who is only graceful may find herself taken for granted. But when she embodies both, she sets clear boundaries while still nurturing love. She teaches others how to treat her not by aggression, but by dignity. She inspires respect not by demanding it, but by living in a way that naturally earns it. Children, friends, colleagues, and even strangers notice this balance. They feel safe in her presence because her strength assures them she can handle challenges, and her grace assures them she will do so with kindness. This is the type of woman who leaves lasting impressions, not because she dominates others, but because she uplifts them while standing tall herself. Balancing strength with grace also means balancing the inner world. It is about being strong enough to face your fears, but graceful enough to forgive yourself when you stumble. I feel it is about having the courage to pursue your dreams, but the patience to accept life's timing. It is about carrying determination in your heart, but peace in your soul. This inner harmony shines outward, and people cannot help but notice it. The world does not need women who are only strong or only gentle. It needs women who embody both. Strength gives you resilience to stand tall in the storm, while grace gives you the wisdom to dance in the rain. When you learn to balance the two, you carry yourself with quiet power, a power that does not need to prove itself, because it speaks through your presence, your choices, and your life.